Welcome back. It's week 6, module 6, and it's set up like the last 4 have been. Same workflow, same system, and same amount of points for a week. And usually what I do in housekeeping is look back on what we did and modify it in some way. That there's really no need to. From what I can tell, everybody's getting the films, they're able to see it, the lectures are working out, the links appear to be, so I don't need to modify, to my knowledge, anything that we're doing currently. So I'd like to look ahead just for a second, and this is really my only housekeeping slide this week. And that just give you a heads up that in 2 weeks now, Week 8, Module 8, that'll be our midterm, okay? And the points for Module 8 are 200. So normally in a week, your quiz and discussion board add up to 50 points. In the midterm, that quadruples to 200, all right? And it's the same thing on the final. Your final is going to be worth 200 points as well. Now, you'll have a movie in week 8. I'll give a lecture on that movie, and some of the questions that you'll be asked on the midterm will pertain to that week's movie. But the rest of them are going to come from the previous quizzes that you've taken to this point. So I create all the questions in Canvas in a pool, and I'm gonna throw all of them into one large pool, and then Canvas will randomly pick questions out of that pool. So I usually have more questions than what you see, and you may see a couple of questions that you haven't come across because of the way that I have this designed. But it shouldn't be too many. The bulk of what you should see on the midterm, it is from the quizzes that you've already taken. So the other thing that I'll do is I'll do a housekeeping video that week. I'll do one on the movie lecture per normal. And then what I'll do is I will do a review as well, and I'll just go through all of our PowerPoints and bullets to that point. So you have a little bit of extra information in terms of review for the midterm. So it makes it pretty easy. I use essentially the same setup in my my live classes, and it seems to work out pretty good. And then when we get to the final, that final will run the same way. You'll have a movie that week. We'll do 3 videos. But the questions for the final will then only be on the quizzes that you've taken after the midterm. So it's not inclusive of the whole semester. Try and break it up. That way you don't have to manage as much information and as many questions. So we got that coming up. You really don't want to miss the midterm and the final. You want to make sure that your calendars are clear for those 2 modules because the points are so valuable to you. You want to really collect as many as you can there. So circle it on your calendars, and I'll remind you next week again what we're doing. But you want to make sure that you're freed up and you have enough time to take the midterm and, of course, the final when they arrive. Okay, thanks. Let's head over and take a look at this week's movie.